Hello, I'm Ginna Gordon, host of Arts and Letters for Art Presence Art Center in Jacksonville, Oregon. Arts and Letters is a continuing conversation about art, words, and ideas. Spring in Jacksonville is really exciting. At Art Presence, we're celebrating a new show, a brand new logo, and the 10-year anniversary of our gallery. My guest on Arts and Letters tonight is Brooke Hawkins, the founder and director of Art Presence Art Center in Jacksonville. We are so happy to be talking about new developments in the continuing growth of this really beautiful fine art gallery. Welcome, Anne.
Thank you so much, Jen. It's great to be with you.
Happy 10-year anniversary.
Thank you very much. I honestly can't believe that it's been 10 years since we opened the gallery and did so many things. It's been a wonderful experience and has had its ups and downs. But in the face of galleries closing all over the United States, I am delighted to say that our patrons and supporters have reminded us over and over again that we're doing well.
Yes. Tell me and our viewers about what you first found when you came to the building and what sparked this whole process.
Absolutely. We are in the old county jail in Jacksonville, Oregon. When we first looked at it, it looked like a great, huge space to show artwork. And
It looked like that to you.
well, it looked like that to me. I had a little bit of a vision about that. And I had several artists who, we were part of a group who tried to show our work on California Street in downtown Jacksonville. And we kept looking at this, and I approached the historic committee several times, actually 3 times, asking them if we could please at least have some shows in that space.
Was the space empty at the time?
The space was empty. It had been occupied by the Children's Museum, but it had been empty for a total of 3 years.
Mm.
So I was turned down, and then the chamber had a huge party in the main part of what we now call the gallery, the main gallery. And they brought in they burlapped the walls, they brought in bales of hay, and they had kind of a hoedown. And I thought to myself, golly, if they can have that, we certainly could have a show. So I approached them again and put out my list of possibly, I believe we talked about having 3 exhibits. And one of them, and I can't remember who it was, said, how would you like to lease it? And I was sitting down, or I probably would have fallen down, because absolutely I said, yes, we would lease it. And they gave us a wonderful, not only was it a wonderful opportunity, but they were very good about what they charged us for rent. So we got in there, it was 2013, and 2012, actually, we kind of started this. I think we actually opened the gallery in 2013, but in April of 2012, we were in there working and changing things and trying to make it a beautiful gallery, which I even thought even then it was a pretty special place.
And I remember, and this must not have been too long ago because I helped you do this,
Yes.
when the paint job was when we were preparing the gallery for the paint job and the next upgrade, I remember walking into the gallery and you and Tony Lannon were up on ladders taking the burlap down one staple at a time.
One
And you
staple
were
at a time with
with
screwdrivers.
screwdrivers, and you were being so careful and so meticulous. It was really beautiful at what you were doing. But I said, so Anne, What's going to happen up there when you get all of those staples taken down? And you said, well, it's going to be completely covered in sheetrock and painted. And I said, well, then step out of the way. Then I went over to the side of the burlap. Do you remember this? And
Yes, I
of
do.
course you do. And I started to just rip. And it ripped all the way around the whole, probably about at least one whole wall before I had to stop and start another new section. But it came
Listen,
off in about 4 minutes.
I have to say, where you started is a 40-foot wall. And I think you did it in about 3 minutes. And I
I
just
did.
stood there with my mouth open. And then we had a good laugh. And I said, go for it. I
Have
can't
at it,
remember what I
everybody.
said.
Yeah, we've got that rid of that stuff. Well,
Very,
it looks really, really beautiful now. I'm very happy about that. And tell us a little bit about the upstairs.
very exciting. We first of all, we have a wonderful classroom. And that classroom so far has hosted life drawing for a couple of years. And the only reason it stopped is because we can't find good professional models, but we're hoping to get back into that. We also have hosted many author readings up there. Plus, a couple of us have taught drawing to huge groups that we got an educational grant for. So now it's just, it couldn't be a more perfect room for meetings and so on. Next door, we have what used to be the train room. And that was for the Children's Museum, where a train went all around the entire perimeter, not perimeter, but sort of the perimeter of the building up there.
Call
It
it
is
more of the
now
mezzanine, really,
mezzanine.
wouldn't you say?
There's a better word. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's now called the Loft, and it provides spaces for artists who don't have a good place to create their art. And we have 5 spaces, 4 of them are filled.
That's
One
great.
more to go, and it provides a good income for art presence, but it also has been a wonderful opportunity for these artists to show their work and do their work. So I'm happy that it's going so well.
That's wonderful.
Yes,
Uh, how did Art Presence get its name?
we we went through a gazillion names. It all seemed so pedestrian and so normal that we were trying to think of something very unique. And the idea being, it was a place, a presence, a I don't I don't remember honestly how we actually came down with art presence, but
I like the phrase, a place and a presence.
yes,
You
yes.
know,
And we
yeah,
added art center, not and art center, but the fact that it is an art center so that it will encompass all of the different things that we do, the Galleria, the gallery, authors,
classes.
education, and so on. So it is a center for all of that.
Yes.
Wish I could be more definitive for you.
I think that's just great. And so when you were first putting this all together 10 years ago, and we kind of lump all these people together in a big in the group of your cheerleaders, say, who helped you? Who were the real who's your backbone back in the beginning? And then who has helped you along the way in terms of contributions or donations or grants?
Well, we obviously, the artists that we had together, we called it the Art Amble. And a group of us, and it included, well, naming, and I can't remember everybody, but Catherine Gracie and Tom Glassman, who are still members of the gallery. And it was the community at large. Everybody just seemed to be so anxious to get us, to help us and get us in there. And it wasn't but a couple of years later that the gallery, the Historic Society gave the building to the city. And when that happened, it all of a sudden it encompassed another group of people who were supportive of us. So even though I have to go to the city council to get permission to do things, to do certain things, it's been amazing for me because honestly, Ginna, I've never been turned down. It has been unbelievably supportive all the way, including our rent, which is, I think that's one of the reasons galleries are closing, is because their rent is so high. They can't possibly stay open because obviously, especially during the pandemic, sales haven't been good for anybody. During that time, the city comped our rent. We had to close several times, and it was a miracle that that happened for us.
Yes.
So may I play like the Oscars and name the different organizations that have helped us?
Yes, please.
First of all, locally is the Boosters Foundation. And not only have they given us grants, the beautiful panels that we have in the main gallery are all from the Booster Foundation. Also, there's they have a bottle drive every year, and Art Presence has been the recipient of monies from that bottle drive, and we've obviously put that to good use. The transient bed tax is also a City of Jacksonville organization, and we have been the recipient, asking for grants, of 43 beautiful new chairs, and we just got monies to redo and provide a brand new website. We're very excited about that. The Haynes and Friends Foundation has been absolutely incredible, doing the physical aspect of the gallery, the painting, the carpeting, the sheetrocking, and so on. It's been amazing. The Carpenter Foundation has been wonderful in that they've provided us monies to expand and continue our education. And then the Human Being has been a sponsor of ours on 2 occasions, and I'm very proud to say that's my son and his wife. So those particularly, I'm very happy to mention. We're very fortunate.
Well, we couldn't get along without them.
No, sir.
Really. All right. Well, let's talk about the exciting new logo.
Oh, well, here's what happened. We decided that it would be absolutely wonderful to present a new logo after 10 years using the beautiful, most appropriate logo that Catherine Gracie designed. And so I asked artists in our group members if they, who also have graphic design experience, if they would take a chance at it and see what they could come up with. And so we had 7 iterations of a new logo. I asked 8 people whom I totally respect and admire as artists and our board to jury these 7 iterations. And so we spent an evening doing exactly that. And we chose unanimously, not animously, unanimously, Nancy Sterling's beautiful logo and lettering. It is unbelievably exciting how well it looks on everything. And the whole idea of this was to bring us into this century, and further with something that is contemporary, energetic, easily.
Would you like to see that now? There we go.
Yes, yes.
It's just wonderful.
It's quite beautiful.
Very chirpy.
Really, it's interesting when you look at this font. It is an experimental font that Nancy found, and it adds so much pizzazz to the logo. that I am absolutely delighted with it.
Beautiful. Just for kicks, let's look at the street sign too, the
Yes,
mock-up of the street sign. Presume that's a mock-up.
this is a mock-up, and it is a mock-up because this all has to be approved by the city of Jacksonville. It is in the process of going through the first part of this, which is to notify every person, building, whatever, within 100 feet of this sign to make sure that they're happy with it, that there's nothing that they disagree with, and so on. So that's a pretty important aspect of the whole process. And once that's accomplished, there's evidently an individual who will look it over and make further decisions about whether we can use it. So I've got fingers crossed.
So assuming it's approved, then it will be a really nice addition to all PR and uh, everything that we create. It's got such, I was going to say it has such presence. It really does.
It does. Now that's how we came up with the name.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I do. I agree. And it's a kind of a tortuous course here, trying to get everything accomplished because we have labels, we have business cards, all of our forms have the logo on top of it. Those all have to be changed. It's somewhat daunting when
Yeah, all social media.
but in a way, you think about what a wonderful way to start the next 10 years,
Yes,
actually.
absolutely. Well, in honor of that, let's discuss the mission statement.
Yes. The mission statement that we started out with was very confined to our community. We, our thoughts were not so much that we were going to grow into much of anything. We wanted to be happy here in our little city. So the mission statement was really devoted to that. Now, of course, we realize that we need to be much more global. So we sat down and wrote a new mission statement. And it's interesting because I think it not only encompasses the Rogue Valley, but Jackson County, and addresses the fact that our patrons could be coming from anywhere because Jacksonville is a tourist town. For heaven's sakes, we have history, music, wine, and art. So we had to take all of those things into consideration and make sure that they were measurable. And so I just feel, I'm not going to read it all to you, but I just feel that it encompasses fine art, crafts, education, and authors. And we're committed to, the mission statement is committed to improving on every single one of those components. And I just figure that probably in 5 years, we will rewrite the mission statement because we are committed to knowing that our presence is going to get better and better. It's like we are an adolescent and we're going to go into adulthood, and we'll have more wisdom and more tools at our disposal. And it is a journey that needs to be adjusted every single time. Now we're working on a vision statement, and that's another component of where we want to go so that we and our patrons understand where we are.
Yes, and I think one of the odd perks of the pandemic was the instigation of arts and letters and the whole opportunity that these Zoom sessions have given us to reach a broader scope, a much broader community, because when we were working just out of the classroom upstairs, we had a maximum of 30 people. And our most well-attended arts and letters event, we had 100 people. And they were from all over the world, not all over Rogue Valley, not all over Southern Oregon, all over the world. We had people from Fiji and Argentina and Spain. It
Wonderful.
was really exciting. And I think that's part of that new mission statement to really go beyond Jacksonville and yet still be all about Jacksonville.
Arts and Letters is going to be magic. It is magic. And I brought in some bookcases and wrote up a policy and procedure and struggled with how to make it look right. And it was like a miracle that you came in and said, I want to give something back, because it was the perfect thing for an author and an editor to be doing. And it has been nothing but absolute joy ever since.
Well, thank you.
I really appreciate it.
Thank you. We really have fun doing it, and it's really, I think, it's kind of a valuable contribution to be able to be seen and to be seen by people way beyond the beautiful town of Jacksonville. So we will continue it. Let's talk about the April and May show that will open on a week from, so wait,
This
it
coming
opens,
Friday. This
opens
coming-
Friday the 8th. Am I right?
I
Yes.
think it's the 8th. Yes, you're right. And the reception for that opening is the next day, Saturday, from 1 to 3. Relic Winery is going to be pouring, and we have Eileen Ganger Stanfield, who's going to be showing on the back wall. She has been with us once before. It's a totally different exhibition, and we're very excited to have her. At the same time, not in April, but starting in May, the Galleria is putting together a wonderful exhibit called Jacksonville is for the Birds. And it will contain not only images of birds, but bird houses. And there's also, and I don't know much about stickers, but there's going to be a sticker that has the image that Catherine Gracie has done of a birdhouse and so on, and people can purchase those to put on different things.
Stickers are the rage. I want to clarify for the viewers that the back wall is where we have a featured artist every
Yes,
show.
thank you. This is true. So
And can we show let's show Anne's painting of a few of my favorite things. Tell me
this
about this lovely painting.
Well, this will be exhibited in the April-May exhibit, and it's called A Few of My Favorite Things because during the time that we had life drawing upstairs, this is an absolutely lovely model who posed for me over and over again, and she ended up being my favorite. Maidenhair fern is without question my absolute favorite houseplant and impossible for me to grow.
I was just going to ask you.
Oh my
how-
gosh, I'm terrible at it. My favorite book in the world that I've read actually 3 times is The Source by James Michener. There's a glass of Chardonnay and some apples, and I collect roosters. And this is one that my husband got for me, and there's some cherries in there. And the model is lying on my favorite Persian rug. So
Right.
anyway,
And-
it will be exhibited during the April and May exhibit.
Great. Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, our final subject for the evening, and of something I know is very close to your heart, is the importance of education. And that is part of the mission statement, and I would love it if you would talk to us about not only how you see it, but let's talk about a couple of the specific classes the recent classes that you've had up in the classroom.
Education is very, very important. And if you all you have to do is spend 5 hours in the gallery sitting and watching customers come in and find out that probably out of 30 people, 10 of them will say, do you have any classes? Because people are dying to get into some sort of a creative aspect of their lives. So obviously it's very important, and we intend to, obviously it's a big part of our mission statement. We intend to make sure that those classes are available for people. So we've already started, since the pandemic was over, a craft class, and it was absolutely wonderful. There were 8 people in attendance, and they took cigar boxes, which are quite beautiful. They're wooden, and put feet on them, put opening handles on them, put all sorts of decorations on them that I can't even go into. It was really, really wonderful. And we hope to do that one again. But we have coming up an art class where Brenda Mills Brannon is going to teach a class in alcohol inks. Now, alcohol inks have been around for a long time. I just didn't know about them, but they are brilliant colors, light fast, and easy to pour. And she's going to do it on 4 consecutive Wednesdays in May. And you will learn more about it through the newsletter, the Jacksonville Review, and our website, so that you can sign up for it. She would be interested in taking 10 to 12 people. It's going to be a wonderful class. And from this point on, we hope to teach calligraphy, watercolor, acrylics, just about anything that people want to learn about. We also intend to talk a little bit about photography and fabric art. There's so many possibilities in those 2 areas. So look forward to that, and we hope to put up a calendar somewhere in the main gallery that shows exactly what's going to be going on during the month and during the year.
Great. Wonderful. And Anne, tell me, what is the prospective launch date for the new website?
Probably the 15th of April. And we're in the throes of it right now. It's very exciting.
I can't wait to see it. I'm excited about it.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much. This has just been delightful, and we welcome you to Art Presence Art Center.
Our address is 206 North 5th Street.
Well, thank you so much, and I will be back with you sometime really soon. Thank you. Thanks, Anne.